Hey, what up YouTube? This is Teampwndecks, and I'm actually going to come at you today with a deck profile. As you know from the description, this is a Dark World profile. And before I get into it, I just want to explain a little bit about the deck. So, I'm making this video for, not so people make this exact same build, but for people who want to make Dark Worlds and don't know how to build it. And so, this is for ideas. I'm also testing the deck, and so if you have any ideas or what you think might work for me too, always hit me up on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as the comment section below. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So first, we got 3 Braun, Mad King of the Dark World. This is a great card because he's an 18 beater. And when he inflicts battle damage, you get to discard 1 card from your hand, which obviously for Dark Worlds is amazing. We have 3 Beige, Vanguard of the Dark World. I love this card also because when he's discarded, he special summons himself. This deck is really quick, especially with the special summons, and so this is why I run 3. 2 also works, but I personally like 3. Next we got 3 Gold, Wu Lord of the Dark World. This card, along with Sylvia, the Warlord of the Dark World, are the main beaters for when they're discarded, and they both have really great effects if they're discarded by your opponent, and so it'll make your opponent think about discarding if they know you're playing this deck. He returns 2 random cards from their hand to the graveyard, and he destroys up to 2 cards. So, both great cards, and they're beat sticks. So, that's why they're great. I run 2 Huntsman of the Dark World, and I love this card because when he's discarded, you get to draw a card. And if it's discarded by your opponent, you draw an extra card. So basically, he's just adding a little bit of draw power. Next, we got 2 Snow. I don't really like running 3 because his effect is decent. His main effect is when he's discarded, you get to search for a Dark World card. And so that effect, I really just want that effect twice. I don't really need it 3. And I think you'll begin to understand why in a little bit. I got 2, I don't know how to pronounce that, Kaiki, the Gorilla of the Dark World. Basically, when he's discarded, you get target and destroy a monster. Doesn't have to be face up. And next we got Gurn, Technician of the Dark World. And he's basically an MST when he's discarded. And so this makes up for some of the spell and trap cards I don't run. You really have to play for space in this deck because there's so many monsters that you really want to play. I run 2 Grapha. 3 is too many, 1 is too little. I learned that through a lot of play testing that you actually need Grapha because you really need a bigger beat stick, especially to get over the synchros and exceeds. Otherwise, this deck isn't really powerful enough. So you need the Graphas. You can try it yourself without it, but I find that you need them. And 2 Trag. Trag makes a great card in this deck because you don't sink, but you exceed in this deck. And so it makes it way easier to exceed and also to beat your opponent over the head with so many cards in your hand. So, Trag is just awesome in this deck. It's awesome in any deck, but you run 2 in this deck for that reason. Alright, for spell cards, 3 Dark World Dealings. This card is broken in Dark Worlds because you essentially get to draw 1 and then discard 1. So you draw a new card and then you discard one card from your hand that you probably already had, and so you can really set up with this card, and so it's amazing. You can also set up with this card, Dark World Lightning. This is also basically another MST or or what's Nobleman of Crossout, basically, because you can target one face-down card your opponent controls. It doesn't have to be a monster or spell or trap. As long as it's face down, you can target it with this card and destroy it by discarding one card from your hand. And so that opens up a lot of plays, and also lets you set up plays for your Dark Worlds too. I run 2 Gateway to the Dark World. This is basically your Monster Reborn of the deck for your Dark Worlds. The only catch is that you can't special summon anything else the turn you activate this, so this is basically your Call of the Haunted on your opponent's turn, or a Monster Reborn on your turn. Just as long as you don't have anything else you want special summon that turn. I run 3 the Gates of the Dark World. This is their field spell. All Fiend-type monsters gain 300 attack and defense, and once per turn, you get to discard one Fiend-type monster. Not discard, you get to remove from play or banish one Fiend-type monster from your graveyard, and then you discard and then draw a card. And it has to be in that order. If it was draw one first, it would be better, but you have to be able to discard a card first. And so basically what you do with this card is you remove from play all the Dark Worlds that you don't need to recycle with this card, and so that's pretty much what you do. And it also makes your Dark Worlds so much more broken with their attack and defense. Double Terraforming to get that faster. The Gates of the Dark World makes the deck much more consistent. And the Terraformings, they're just discard fodder if you need to. You usually don't need to, and the Terraformings do come in handy. I run 1 Heavy and 1 Dark Hole. These are still staples in this deck. Since you don't run MSTs exactly, you still run the Heavy. And you run the Dark Hole, of course, for emergencies. I only run 3 traps, or 2 types of traps. I run 2 Bottomless. Since the type of monsters that can get over your Dark World are going to be 1500 or more, Bottomless takes care of that. I was considering running Deep Dark Trap Hole because it banishes the monster, and they're usually over level 5 anyway. But Bottomless, it can also be just as long as they have 15 or more, so it opens up even more doors. I don't like Warning in this deck, because 1, you pay 2,000 and you need to be able to sacrifice a little bit of life points if you're setting up some plays, so you don't want to minus out your life points too much, and so I don't like Warning in this deck, and Bottomless just worked great. And then I run 1 Dust Shoot. Dust Shoot is great this format, especially if you draw into it early. If you draw into it late, you can also discard it and get rid of it, but you can still play it, and so I like this card, and so I run it. I do have an extra deck. The extra deck's still in progress, but for now I got 1 Stardust because I'm thinking about adding a Starlight Road, and so this is why I have the Stardust in there. I have 1 Black Rose. I have Black Rose in my extra deck for obvious reasons. It always has a spot. 1 Brio. Also because I'm thinking about putting in a Mind Control. That way maybe I can be able to sink a little bit in this deck. Or make Exceeds easier. Next we have 3 Wind-Up Zen Masters. 4s are really easy in this deck, and I don't really have that good of extra deck right now for Exceeds, but I have that. 1 Illuminate, 1 Utopia. I would run 2 because it's just that great, but I only have 1. I got it. I basically traded it in process of getting this last one, Steel Swarm Roach. I like this card too because it negates your opponent's special summons. Only problem is it's a 1900, but luckily with the Gates of the Dark World it becomes a 22, makes it hard to kill. So it's a great card. I got that one Bryo and Stardust for my birthday party, and I traded some hardcore stuff to get them. Some people would argue that I traded a lot for these, but in reality I really didn't, since I didn't use those cards as often. And so I got 3 cards I needed. Wanted a Bryo forever, needed a Roach, and the Stardust was just beautiful. And so I got that. And so, as always, I will try to get up more deck profiles as soon as I can. I'm still working on making a team. I added my friend Michael, who's now Miracle Sworn, I think 777. I'm not good with numbers, but he's an official member of the channel now. And so he's going to be helping me out with deck profiles and stuff. I just got to find more people to get deck profiles and box openings and stuff. I'm also thinking about, just for fun, ordering Korean boxes. They're really cheap, come with 40 packs, and I think it would just be fun to go, oh my gosh, I pulled a Secret Bryonic, oh, but it's in Korean. And that I think that'd be fun. Please let me know what you think. And I think it'd be fun, you know, just to like give those away as prizes. So I think that's it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.